I'm Greg Gutfeld. We're going to get to the news about what happened at the Donald Trump rally in Reno, Nevada in a minute, I promise. But first, 3 days left, and the race is tighter than a baby's fist. Trump and Clinton are hitting all the battleground states, and they're probably down to their last pair of underpants. Here's a tip. Turn them inside out. It's just like new. But don't think this election is over Tuesday. If Trump wins, then comes the wrath. The media, Hollywood, they'll be doubling up their doses of Xanax and Klonopin. If Clinton wins, she'll still be an FBI target. With all of her issues, she's as broken as a box spring in a porn film. So here's my lesson. 2016 was not about them. It was about us. Over the last 5 decades, pop culture, media, and academia have combined to create a massive liberal industrial complex, which controls everything we see and hear. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's both sharp and fun, like a blow-up sword. Chris Starwell, Fox News digital politics editor, co-host of I'll Tell You What. She's so smart that Rubik's Cubes try to solve her. Jillian Turner, former National Security Council member.
That's better than blow-up sword.
He's so bright, I use him as a nightlight. Washington Times political columnist Charles Hurt with a great hairdo. And if hating life were a sport, she'd win the gold, silver, and bronze. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. Before we talk about my monologue, about an hour ago, Donald Trump took to the stage at a rally in Reno, Nevada. I love Reno. Biggest little city in the world. And he was physically removed by the Secret Service after some sort of security threat in the crowd. We're not sure what it is. Minutes later, he returned to the stage. Take a look at all of this.
By the way, folks, while we're at it, great.
Go.
Nobody said it was going to be easy for us, but we will never be stopped. Never, ever be stopped.
All right. So the latest word we have is a man has been detained. According to our producer covering the Trump campaign, a white male who looked middle-aged. Sounds a lot like me. Police took him to an adjacent men's room where they appeared. Why is that funny? This is a serious thing. We mentioned men's room and everybody giggles. There's nothing funny about being detained in a men's room. I'm usually the detainer, though. The campaign just released a statement on the incident saying, this is from Donald Trump, actually, saying, I would like to thank the United States Secret Service and the law enforcement resources in Reno and the state of Nevada for their fast and professional response. I also want to thank the many thousands of people present for their unwavering and unbelievable support. Nothing will stop us. We will make America great again. Signed, Donald J. Trump. And then I think he hopped onto his plane, and he's going to Denver, I believe, for another final event. And we might find out more in the meantime, Chris. This election has more curves than Charo. Throw back to a celebrity from the Love Boat era.
I was going to say, that is a Love Boat reference that I was not. I came here prepared for a number of Love Boat references, but it was not Charo, and I want to credit you for that, Greg.
Thank you.
Did you see how President Obama dealt with the Trump protester at his rally?
Yes.
And it was kind of perfect. The people in his crowd were yelling at him. They were angry at this guy. And Obama stopped them, and he held out the rally forever and ever and ever. And it became uncomfortable how angry he was at his own crowd, and he made them stop. And then he said, he's an older gentleman. He's probably a veteran. He seems like he was a veteran.
Right.
And his vote's not going to hurt you. He's going to vote a different way than you. You're going to vote a different way than him. And he did it. Now, Barack Obama has done not inconsiderable things to divide America. But he demonstrated in that moment, and he was probably trolling Donald Trump in that way.
Yeah.
He demonstrated how you do that.
He's a little late for unity, don't you think?
Hey, I tell you what, when you get down to the end of it, if you're Trump, you are trying to litigate Obama's 8 years. If you're Obama, you're trying to litigate the last 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And in that way, he demonstrated dignity and respect and a good way to do that. And those two things will be juxtaposed going into tomorrow.
Get a room. This is Fox News. You're not supposed to say that stuff.
We regret the error.
Okay. We're going to take that all out. Jillian, thoughts on what you just saw? Any observations, or would you like to talk more about the election being an ordeal that makes the Donner Party look like an actual party?
Stealing my bit.
Yeah, that was her Halloween shtick.
All right. No throwbacks.
So I'm not an expert on like Secret Service tactics per se, but I mean some, but not all of them.
Yeah.
What I saw in this was like
Do tell.
What I saw happen here was aren't they supposed to like throw him down on the ground and then cover that like the human shield? I mean, he was ushered off the stage and like his whole upper body was exposed. Like if he was going to get shot, he would have been shot 10 times.
They look more like security.
So you're second guessing the response.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, they didn't look like Secret Service. They looked like security.
Yeah. Well,
anybody could have done it. I could have done a better job than that.
That's we are speculating on who those men were. Right. They could have been the men. Who knows? They could. Charlie.
They were definitely Secret Service.
Yeah.
Nobody else is allowed up there on the stage.
Yeah.
But I mean, no. The thing that Obama did, he was mocking the guy. He was turning the audience against him. And this was in between speeches where he's talking about the KKK and David Duke and KKK. I mean, nobody in America gives the KKK or David Duke any credibility but the stupid media. And he does it because he knows that he can divide people and you know,
he was nice to that guy.
He was nice to that guy, but he's nice to that guy in order to get everybody to like gang up on him.
Yelling at him?
Yeah, no, to be meaner to him. I don't give the guy any credit.
Wow. You know my favorite KKK story is, and I have so many.
Do you have a second? Like, what's number 2?
No. Okay, my first. Okay, during the World Series when people saw the 3 Ks up on the stadium.
Mansplained to me.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, what's that?" It's like the guy had 3 strikeouts, so they keep putting Ks.
That's why you need one swinging. Because if not, or one looking. Because if not, then it looks ugly.
Yeah, it's true.
Every third one needs to be looking.
Kat, this is a serious incident, but there's been so many things I think we're jaded now. There's more controversies, scandals, and incidents in this election than there has been in the last, I would say, 375 years of presidential elections.
Tensions are running high. It appears that people are very emotional. People who support or don't support Trump, either way, it's an emotional thing. It's not just like, oh, I'll vote for this guy or I won't vote for this guy. You know, if you've ever been on the Twitter and you've seen some of the supporters, they've never been so excited and passionately loved anything like Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And you know, if Hillary wins, these people aren't just because you know, if you feel really passionately about someone, and then you're told it's over,
right?
You don't believe it right away.
No, you don't. You leave dead pets on their front porch.
You know, sometimes it isn't over.
No, it's not. As long as it's not over in your head.
Yeah,
it's not over.
Is it really over?
Everyone who dumped me in high school is aware of that.
Well, yeah.
To this day.
Yeah, I have a lot of people who are really hung up on me too.
I was in your mentions for about 4 hours today, and I want to tell you, it was like drinking lava from the actual Mount of Vesuvius.
It goes back to the thing. You can't declare peace. Only your enemy can declare peace.
That's a very good point.
And Zoo, what up, dog?
I can declare peace, though. I can declare peace because I voted yesterday.
What'd you do?
Since then, everybody's been talking about how crazed they are. Everybody's in a panic. They're
you don't have to worry about what your candidate does. That will be your fault.
I've done what I can do, and now it's up to the good people of this great nation.
Did you vote for Charles Hurt,
to make the right decision?
Or did you vote for Gutfeld?
I voted for Gutfeld.
Yes.
As one does. As one does.
I had an ordeal voting. I'm an absentee. This is great. I'm an absentee ballot, but I kept putting it off. It's like totally like I have this thing sitting there. So I voted, and then I opened up the ballot and I changed it. And then I closed it, and then I opened it up again, and I changed it again. And I kept walking back and forth. And I kept going, what would my mom do? What would my mom do?
Are you Paul Ryan, or are you Greg Gutfeld?
I don't know what I am anymore.
That story is as crazy as this one.
It is crazy.
Can you imagine?
I'm not well balanced. I'm not like your morning breakfast, unless you're a transient who drinks his own urine. Look, this is the problem with having only 2 major parties. You only get 2 major choices. So when it's over, half the country is bitter. So if you had, say, six candidates, would it be better or worse? Would people be as heavily invested, or could it be worse? I don't know.
What do you like? Imagine Italy without good food.
Yes.
So so if
you mean Jersey? I don't even know what that means. I've been watching Soprano reruns. Give me a break.
I'm a huge enthusiast of the two-party system.
Why?
Because it forces. Okay, boo.
Boo him.
Boo. Because it forces people to have their disagreements within the two parties and then have a broader disagreement.
Would you say that at work this time?
But
no.
No, my hope out of this time would be that we have never in the history of modern public opinion research had two candidates as unpopular as these two people.
And that's the two-party system. And it picked the least two popular people.
But now,
how
wait
is
a minute.
that good?
It's the fault of the two parties. It's not the fault of the two-party system.
And it may end up being very good for...
And I think it will be
for,
so.
like, if voter turnout is what it's expected to be. We've got something like 225 million people registered today. That's up 50 million from 8 years ago.
I'm already biting my nails. Come Tuesday, I'm going to have to find other things to bite.
Stand by for news.
I am taking volunteers.
Charlie, I got to go. Break time.
Can't you hear the music?
I have a very important point.
All right, quick point.
After that. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it could be that this could be a very unifying thing.
Yes.
Because half the people that are voting for Trump and half the people that are voting for Hillary, if the other person wins, they're like, hey, this ain't my problem.
Yeah, that's true.
I voted for the other one.
Exactly. All right. That was an important point to make. And you did it while music was playing. Coming up, a story so hot you might mistake it for me. But first, which battleground states will lead the candidates to victory? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. Ohio, Florida, North Carolina. Yes, those are the names of my new ferrets. And look at them. They're adorable.
Stinky.
There are also some of the key battleground states deciding the election. I didn't know that. In Florida, the race is like the confused drifter in my car, all tied up. We're close. In Ohio, where there's 18 electoral votes, Trump holds a small lead. And the most crucial state for Clinton could be North Carolina, where Romney narrowly beat Obama in 2012. Said the president on Wednesday, if Hillary wins North Carolina, she wins. That is poetic. Still, the one key state no one seems to be talking about, New Kansas. There it is. As you know, it's I think we call it the Call Me State.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It's home to most cat owners per capita, and they breed them like cattle for nourishment. It's disgusting. Its main exports are housecoats, flatulence, and sadness. In other words, don't count out New Kansas voters. It's going to be very exciting. All right, Chris, you majored in stuff that bores people, i.e. polls, but you're the experts. Which of the swing states do you think Trump might take?
Well, it depends on how we define swing states.
Here we go. I hate it when they start with "it depends." That means they don't get to the answer. All right, let's try this again. Which of the swing states is Trump most likely to take?
All right. So if you're Donald Trump, you would say Michigan's a swing state.
Yes.
And you'd say Pennsylvania's a swing state.
Right.
Now the polls would say they aren't.
Okay.
Now, Trump used to say New York and California and Washington State were swing states.
Yes.
And they weren't. That didn't work out. So an easy way to look at it is that in the eastern United States, there are 4 states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida, that Trump needs to win 3 of.
Okay.
If he doesn't win 3 of those 4, he can't win.
Okay.
And his problem right now is he is considerably behind in Pennsylvania. He is not far behind, but consistently behind in North Carolina. Now, he's good in Ohio.
Yeah.
There's only been, and would you like a nerd fact to bore you hideously?
Yes.
Nerd fact to bore you hideously is that there's only ever been one Republican that won Ohio and didn't win the presidency. That was Richard Nixon in 1960, and they did happen to steal that election from him in Chicago.
Rigged.
That is a nerd fact.
Rigged exclamation point. So basically, Trump is going to win Ohio, or he's set right to win Ohio. His situation in Florida is as dead even as it could possibly be. He is behind in Pennsylvania, and North Carolina he's behind. So he needs a fix. He needs things to get better.
You know what I said about Florida? I said it's like a Siamese giraffe, neck and neck.
I would say that you were better than that, but I know that you are not.
It was a terrible joke.
That was terrible.
Charlie, but as long as I can make Charles smile, that's all that matters. It looks like New Kansas may be going for Hillary, but I'll get to that later. What are your thoughts on the swing states? Do you have any insights? I know it's hard to be like Chris, but you had a social life.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, this is one of the things that I think a lot of people love about I love about Donald Trump. We've had this map for 20 years, and it's been the exact same map, and it's immovable, and it's all a gradual digression until death for the Republican Party and for the Democratic Party to take over forever. World domination.
Yes.
And finally, and yeah, I get it. Texas is now a swing state, whatever. But at least he's blowing the map up, and that's a very appealing thing.
Yeah, it's changing.
I mean, if he loses like all these states, I don't care. At least he's changing the map, and that's a good thing.
It reminds me when I used to play Candyland, and I was losing, and I would just turn it over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was just 2 years ago.
It's Scrabble. You can't think of a word, you throw the whole thing over.
Yeah, exactly.
That speaks for a lot of people.
It does speak. It does, and it speaks.
And it
for
makes
me.
Chris mad.
It does, and it should. Jillian, do you feel bad about the states where it doesn't matter? Like states where you just know that your vote doesn't matter?
Like New York.
Yeah, New York.
Washington, D.C.
If you vote for Hillary, you're spitting in Niagara Falls. If you vote for Trump, you're peeing in it.
I mean, it's a little bit...
It's heavy.
I mean, I grew up in New York, so I'm used to that. It doesn't really bother me.
No.
And now I live in Washington, D.C., which is...
Why is he going to Colorado
burger.
Anyway? Why do you think he's
Ganja.
Ganja.
It's really nice there in the fall.
It is.
I like
Some of the
Colorado a
aspen
lot.
trees are gorgeous.
What about much ado was made in the last election cycle about like the disparity between city voters, you know, like urban voters and rural voters. How is that breaking down, like in this so far?
Do a mental picture and picture 100 pinpoints dropped across the country on the 100 largest cities in America.
I am.
And the farther you are away from any of those pinpoints, the more Republican you are. So if you go into the deepest recesses of Montana or Wyoming, the farthest away from one of the 100 largest cities, the more Republican you are. The closer you get to one of those cities, the more Democratic you are. Why is every election decided in the suburbs? Because that's where the country meets the city. That is the point of conflict. And so the country mice like me and the people where I'm from are Republican. The city mice like you, where you're from and where you grew up, are Democratic. And then when we get to the
you just
suburbs,
stereotype people for a living.
I do. All the daggone time. And you know what is great? We are almost always right.
Kat, you know, right now we're seeing live footage of a podium. I haven't got any of the latest.
Wait, you don't see the guy there?
Oh, no. It's happening again. It's happening again. You mean there's somebody there? Look, last word to you. Thoughts on anything other than what Chris just said? I'm trying to stay awake.
It just doesn't matter, though. Like,
You can't say it doesn't matter.
Whatever the polls say. Whatever the polls say,
it doesn't matter.
or whatever they don't. There's 5 days, and we're gonna move on to phase 2 of being upset about whatever happened. Either way, I don't think it's possible to always tell. I don't think it is possible to always tell. Everything that's been known in the past has not worked out for this election so far.
True.
So I don't believe anything. That's what I. When
You
I
and
say,
Charlie are on the right end of the
when I
couch
say it
together.
doesn't matter, I mean nothing that we know from the past really matters now because look at Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Do you remember when it was funny? Everybody gave a speech, we were laughing, we were clapping, and it was great. Reality TV, that's it. Like reality TV is really funny because you're like, oh, I can't believe that's real life. But then it's like, whoa, I can't believe that is real life. That pageant mom really does do that for a living. And
You got to move on. But to quote Freddie Mercury, nothing really matters.
Apparently so.
To me. Coming up, a story so hot, you'll think it's my twin brother. What will a Trump presidency look like? How about a Clinton one? How about we just go back to bed and wake up in 2020? There are only two outcomes on election night, a President Trump or a President Clinton, unless there's some kind of alien attack and we all die, which I'm all for. I already got a panic room with William Devane. At any rate, what would life be like with either of these people in the Oval Office? Let's begin with Trump. If we go by what he's promising, there might be a wall built that separates us from Mexico. Obamacare could be overturned. Security could become a #1 priority. And America could become great again. Or he could start World War III over something someone said about him on Twitter. But why quibble? But what if Hillary wins? She too has made many promises, like fixing Obamacare, making tuition free at public colleges for many students, renegotiating trade deals like NAFTA, rolling out a $275 billion infrastructure plan, and killing all people with naturally curly hair.
Charles.
I am with her on that one, Charles. But it will also mean 4 more years of this.
It's time for us to say no. We are not going backwards. We're going forward into a brighter future.
Anyway, sometimes it just takes the time to just, I have to get over it, take a deep breath. Charles, what could be the best thing about a Trump presidency?
Well, I mean, America's already made great again in at least one household, because my mother got sick and tired of listening to my dad complain all the time that she finally took a Kleenex box and made it into a ballot box, and every time, and puts it out in the hallway, and every time he starts complaining about something, he, God darn it, Margaret, and she says, the ballot box is downstairs in the hallway, and he goes in the next room, writes another ballot, and he checks it off for Trump, stuffs it in the box, and he feels all better, and then he goes and sits down and he's quiet for at least half a day.
Have you taught him about the Trump call?
He doesn't need. No, that's like, you know,
the natural.
All right.
Enough of this weird stuff. Don't. I want to know, what is the best? What do you think is the best thing?
The best thing? No, the best thing is the thing that is whether he wins or not.
You can't think of anything.
Yeah, no, I am. I just was trying to set it up there. No. The best thing is that people have been upset for a long time, and especially Republicans,
especially you,
and especially me.
You sound very upset.
I am very upset. This place is screwed up. This is a great country.
Is it rigged?
It is totally rigged. It is totally rigged.
So what's the best
media,
part?
everything, and the best.
You are in the media.
No, well, yeah, no.
So
I
like
know.
6 out of 7.
Charles, if you don't get to the point, I'm having you shot.
So the point is the message is clear. He sent the message. Everybody knows.
Yes.
Now, that's a good thing.
All right, so I'm a little confused.
How is
He sent the message, Greg.
Okay, here's. Can I
Did you not receive the message?
No, I didn't.
Like, you didn't see the guy standing behind the podium in the commercial break?
I think Trump would be good is because it's impossible for him to fulfill all the bad that people are saying is going to happen. Remember, these critics are promising the apocalypse. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You got checks and balances. I think that the good thing about Trump is that he wants to be loved. And when you want to be loved, you want strange new respect from your critics, right? So that's the first thing I think he's going to go for. The bad part about Trump is that I also feel that he's vindictive. And so he will remember people that didn't back him, and he might have you audited or perhaps killed.
Tough but fair.
Tough but
fair.
Yes, I just don't want him showing up at my place. Because then I got to make something.
For a lot of reasons.
Yes. Well, I have no food in the fridge. All right, Jillian, what's your best hope for, let's say, a Hillary presidency?
Oh, I don't really have any hope anymore. I lost that.
Are you taking cats?
They're plotting for hopelessness.
Hopelessness. That should have been, because it was like hope is on the way and hope and keep all the hope.
Yeah.
Hope's dead. But you know what it reminded? What this is like? It's like this. Remember that ad from the '90s that would be like, "This is your brain," and there would be eggs like sizzling in the pan,
there's
and then
one egg in a skillet. Yeah,
and then there's "This is your brain on drugs," and then it's like scrambled eggs.
Yes.
One of those is Donald Trump and one of those is Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to tell you which one is which. You have to decide for yourself.
Well,
that's what it looks like.
You just made me hungry. I love a good egg. Even though I don't like to think about eggs because it's kind of creepy, Kat.
Yes.
When you think about what an egg is, but I still eat them because they're just delicious. A little hard-boiled egg with some salt. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Are we overstating the importance of this election? Like, everybody's acting like if Hillary's elected, the world will end. If Trump is elected, the world will end. But isn't that how we do it in every election?
Right, well, the world is going to end, Greg. Absolutely.
That is true.
But there's so much outrage now, and I think people forget that there was always this much outrage. It was just over smaller things. Like, remember the binders full of women?
Right.
That was like, for weeks and weeks and weeks, the biggest deal in the whole world. Can you believe it? So now that there actually are some more inflammatory things being said, nobody has enough outrage left. we don't know what to expect. With Trump, he has no record. We don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's thrown out plans and changed them. I do know he probably has a great zinger tweet directed at Hillary for in case if he wins, ready to fire that off. But I don't know if he's got anything beyond that, really, all that much.
We got to move on, but I want to ask Chris, the only good thing I could say about Hillary is that at least we know what kind of crook she is, right? So we know what to expect. And she's hobbled, right? She's kind of hobbled by, like, when she goes in, nobody is going to be on her team or on her side. Or is that easily forgotten once she's president-elect?
I'm going to ignore your question and answer a previous question that I preferred.
Yes.
And that is this. People are making too much of this election.
Oh, good.
Our framers and our founders intended this to be a country that was not dominated by its politics and by its government, but instead by its people. And if we go back and we read what the founders wrote, and if we read the Federalist Papers, if we read Charlie's people in the Anti-Federalist Papers, the argument is the whole time that politics is a necessary evil, not that it is what drives our life and what dominates us. And I think
true.
And I think part of what we're doing wrong in this election is pretending somehow that there is a person that you're going to elect, or that there is an outcome of an election that's going to fix what's wrong with you or make what's wrong with the country right. In fact, America is better than its politics. America is Americans. And Americans can make what's wrong in America right again, or Americans can choose to do the wrong thing and continue to hate their neighbor and have hate in their heart and not do what's right, or they can choose to love each other and lift this country up. And it's up to us, and it's not up to our politicians.
It was a large pizza. I just wanted pepperoni on half. Pepperoni and half and pineapple on half. Coming up, a segment so delightful you might mistake it for a cute little bunny and then smash its head, and that would be wrong. I know. We attempt to answer some important questions from our audience about the election. That's what we're really going to do. Coming up. Sorry. All right. As you know, we have a dynamic and very sexy audience for this live show, and we've asked them and you, the audience at home, to send in any last-minute questions you might have before we vote on Tuesday. So without further ado, and what is an ado anyway? If nobody wants it, let's get started. Hey, no ado. Anyway, first question is from John Andrew. It's via Facebook. Never heard of it. If you had the power to go back, who would you have picked to become the nominees? Kat.
Ron Paul.
Oh, yes.
My favorite. It's not that I love Ron Paul, it's that I'm in love with Ron Paul and his brilliant freedom-fighting mind.
Yes.
His face.
Did you like his newsletters back when he was in the 80s?
I was in the womb.
All right.
Audit the Fed.
Charles?
And Republicans would be losing.
Yes.
And your message would be losing.
They are losing.
I know they are, but so if I could go back, I would pick definitely Donald Trump, because I mean that's the best. And then Hillary Clinton is probably pretty good because she really does. She's the perfect personification of the Democratic Party today.
Okay, Jillian, real quick.
I'm going to go with Marco Rubio, and I'm going to stick with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that is sensible.
So
I'm pretty sensible.
You're picking.
Chris?
No, I think. Well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Isaac from who is the bartender from the Love Boat, as the Republican nominee, and then I'm going to go pick with the doctor. What was the doctor's name on the Love Boat? Adam Bricker.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Dr. Bricker as the Democratic nominee, and we just talk about issues that related to life, love, what's complicated, and how we have fun in Puerto Vallarta.
For the Dems, I picked Lena Dunham. Ron Paul v. Lena Dunham.
I would pick James Webb because he had the best answer of any person when they asked him during the Democratic debate, like, what of his greatest memories, and his answer was killing people. Do you remember that?
Well, I mean, you're putting kind of a blunt tip on it.
That was amazing. He was talking about
specific people he remembered killing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Was like, I like that guy. Next question. This is from Lucas on Facebook. Will there ever be an election where the past, great question, doesn't come back to haunt the nominees? Charlie.
I mean, why is that a great question?
Because I believe that what we've learned is that we're getting over that. I think we're getting over
it. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, to some degree.
Like
we know too much.
Are you kidding me? The Billy Bush tape is like already completely behind us. There was a time that would have sunk in.
That bus is
It's not.
Isn't that?
I'm probably not the demographic for that one.
All right. I don't know what that means, laughing man. Chris, what do you think?
So, when it comes to being president, your policies don't matter that much because the presidency is a reactive office. You are basically responding. George W. Bush said he was going to be a non-interventionist and he was going to focus on a rather modest domestic agenda. And he invaded a couple of countries that I remember, and the world looks very different as a result of his presidency. Character counts when you pick a president because the president responds to what's happening. He doesn't make his own weather. He tacks into it like a sailor.
All right. I'm glad you brought up sailor because this next question, we're going to sail on. I think I have time for one more question. I'm going to go to Jillian on this one. The next, it's from Christina, who's in our studio audience. Hello, Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Remember, I'm at the Hilton. Room 33.
Oh, Greg.
Wow.
Oh, stop it. It's
Greg.
a joke.
Oh, my God.
If Hillary is elected, what do you predict Bill's role will be as first man?
Oh.
That's a great question.
That is a very good question.
Unsubscribe.
And it's actually been like a kind of under-evaluated, not discussed issue during all of this
Did you see him
election
play with the
cycle.
balloons at the convention?
I did. He'll definitely play with
so much fun.
balloons.
He has a fan of balloons.
Number one.
He is going to, I mean, look, he'll have some of his own initiatives. Obviously, I think he's going to continue to focus on Africa a lot.
Yeah,
my bet is we see him focusing more and more on other countries if she's elected president.
It's far away from her.
Far away.
Yeah.
He's going to leave, because remember at the beginning...
Wherever there's a Club Med,
Antarctica.
or sandals,
Right.
he's going to be there. He'll be like, yeah, I'm doing a lot of charity
Why did he
work.
have to choose sandals?
Yeah. Maybe it's hedonism 1 and hedonism 2. You know, one half is naked. And
He's going back to college.
Yes. Last word, Kat. What do you see his role, Bill Clinton?
I don't really think it's going to be a big one. I mean, what's he going to? I mean, I just hope he does as little as possible. Hope he stays.
Yes.
In the same place.
They keep him in the pen. All right, we got to move on. That was interesting. We got a couple extra questions. Maybe if we have time later, we'll talk about them, or we won't. Coming up, a story so different. If you were in school, you might tease it for being different. The best thing about a possible Trump presidency, it will make celebrities angry, and that makes me happy. All right, will he put a frown on Tinseltown? According to Variety, the magazine, not the generic collection of different things. There's growing fear in Hollywood of a Trump victory. Bill Maher echoed that fear Friday night, delivering a warning to young people considering voting for Trump.
Kids, I've been doing this for 23 years on TV. I've seen a lot. I know politics. This is different. I promise you this will not make your life better.
Oh, gosh. Meanwhile, as HeatStreet.com points out, there's plenty of celebs who say they're going to move to Canada if Trump wins, including Walter White, a.k.a. Bryan Cranston. That's a shame. Neve Campbell, who I believe is from Canada, so that's not much of a sacrifice going home. Barbara Streisand, who is alive.
Shocker.
Raymond Simone, but of course that's so Raven, by the way. I don't even know what that means. And hopefully Amy Schumer after this video. Or maybe we don't
hope that people don't blame you if an orange sexually assaulting Godzilla who started a fake college is f***ing up the entire planet a year or so from now. That would be a bummer, right?
I admire her so much now that she's gotten really famous. She's not going to deviate from the predictable liberal stance. After all, she's going to embrace it. All right, I'm going to go to you, Kat. Is there any celebrity who could influence your vote that you go, oh my goodness, Katy Perry says vote?
Yeah, it's her. It's Katy Perry.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Make all my decisions based on what Katy Perry tells me I should be doing.
Yeah.
Where, talk, I eat, I see what she eats on her Instagram, and then I eat those things that day.
Yes.
Quinoa.
And when she throws up, you do.
I do too, yeah. I have a little alarm that goes off. No, absolutely not. I have a brain that I use.
Good for you. What do you keep it by?
Thank you. Not to brag.
Charlie, isn't Bill Maher's sincere apocalyptic worry a little much?
Yeah, I mean, this celebrity thing is just nonsense. These people are delusional, and nobody pays attention to them. And I don't think they win over any vote. If I were to pick one celebrity that I think would have changed my opinion, it would be Mark Cuban until he endorsed Hillary Clinton. It's just like, all right, well, then not him. But I love the guy.
I will point out that goes against, you said, I said if a guy would change your vote, and you said it would be Mark Cuban, except he made this decision. So that is actually contradicting what you just said.
TBS. You know what I just said?
You get shot by the unicorn gun.
I contradict myself all the time.
TBS.
But I don't think I did that right there. Did I?
Jillian? Anybody influencing you? I won't shoot you.
No, but Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. You know that him and I went to the same high school?
Do you know him?
Sarah High School. In San Mateo,
Can
California.
you get me his email address?
You know, he is married. Not that matters with athletes, right? Am I right? I'll look it up. Chris, that's kind of sad.
Tom Brady is sad.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I feel deflated.
Yes.
I would say either Yul Brynner from the Magnificent Seven or Lou Rawls. Either
Love
of the
Yul
two
Brynner.
of them.
That was a good pick.
Lou Rawls?
Lou Rawls or
You'll
Yul
never
Brynner.
find another love like mine.
I didn't think you had Yul Brenner
He
in
also
you.
did a great
Magnificent
beer
Seven.